Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, joined as always by the natural Astrid Pizarro. And Astrid, we're here for something different tonight.
Different.
This is what happens when Whose Line Is It Anyways meets professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So we were looking for something interesting to cover this week, and we happened to see, and by we I mean Astrid Pizarro, happened to see that they uploaded over the last week or two the first 10 mystery wrestlings. Mystery wrestling is something that me and Astrid constantly send back to each other because of the fact that it's run by Evil Uno, who is a fantastic Canadian, who we appreciate. And he's always got something fun and interesting going on in his shows, whether it be having the longest wrestling match ever, where he had people just entering in and out of a wrestling match that apparently never sort of ended, raising money for charity, things like that. On top of it, that he's just a gamer and a professional wrestler that we both really kind of like. He also has really cool connections, obviously, inside of AEW because he is an AEW talent. So mystery wrestling is always something we've kind of looked at. The hard thing about mystery wrestling is for us to cover, it's a bit difficult because these go on live on his Twitch at Evil Uno, which is up here, or after the event is over, you can buy them for $6.50 US on Patreon, which again is fine, but there's no database to watch all of them other than Patreon and the Twitch, which again, it's fine, it's great, but it makes it harder for us to cover these. So we're going to cover something that happened on the 23rd of June, 2024. It's been a while since this one took place. I can say that because two of the people on this show are now AEW talents when they weren't when the show happened. And one of the people on this show, I believe, was an AEW talent when the show happened and isn't anymore. Astrid, talk to us a little bit about what drew you in particular to wanting to watch mystery wrestling.
Well, like you said, it's like the fact that I had seen Evil Uno sometimes on Twitch every now and then be live talking about it. Uh, I like that it's something different for us and being like in my mindset going towards this was two things. One is like there's so many things going on in the world right now. I wanted to see something that was not so serious. I wanted something that would make me laugh a little bit more than usual in my wrestling
Mission
this time around.
accomplished.
So I wanted something that was almost like out of my comfort zone, if that makes sense, because it's not something that I look to see all the time. So I wanted to see something a little bit different from what we usually see. I wanted to see different people from what we usually see because we've been seeing a lot of like the same people every now and then. So I was like, I want a mix of people that I know, but also a mix of new people as well. And not only that, but this also has what person that we know, which is Kristara, the sweet pea. So I wanted to watch her wrestle because I've been wanting to watch her wrestle for a while. She obviously is the sweetest thing. She's so cool. But I had never seen her wrestle and I wanted to. And I saw her name on the card here and I was like, I got to take a chance. Even if it's a short match, I just want to see her wrestle. And this is the other thing that drew me to not only like mystery wrestling, but this whole card and the fact that we get a mix of like younger people versus like people that have like experience like the Sweet Balls and the Josh Alexanders here, for example. I like the fun aspect of it. I like that it was different. It made me laugh. I was like, it's one of those like weeks that I'm like, there's so many things happening. I just wanted to see something different. So it definitely accomplished that. I will tell you that.
I've put in the description of the Our Local Establishment YouTube video, and I put it, I believe, on the tweet for the Our Local Establishment side. If you like a bit of comedy with your wrestling, or if you like a little bit of wrestling with your comedy, mystery wrestling is indeed the promotion for you. On this show, we have Evil Uno on commentary, as you always do for mystery wrestling, joined by Angelo Parker. Cool Hand Luke or Cool Hand Angelo, I believe is one of his tags. Mm-hmm. Mr. Ruby Soho, to continue a tradition of us calling, we'll say, lower end talent by their much more prominent wives' names. Angelo Parker is on commentary with Evil Uno. It's very obvious from the jump that, as I said earlier, this is the kind of whose line is it anyway? The rules for these matches are kind of made up as they go along.
Mm.
More specifically, in one of these matches, I literally don't think they knew the rules of the match as the match was happening. And Evil Uno books this shit.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a minute. Astra did message me this morning because she knows that I've had a long week and a tough week, and I haven't been able to watch the show until today. And she had one request: minimal haterade. Her one request to me after watching about an hour of this card, from what I can see, was, Ed, please, minimal haterade. I will tell you right now, this is one of the better shows we've watched, period. I fucking loved every minute of this. I was laughing my ass off from beginning to end. It's not whether or not it was commentary. It was almost always commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Because these two gave no shits about what they were doing. They did not care about how they came off. They did not care about personal preference and professionalism and anything. Like, the number of times Angelo Parker alludes to the fact that he's part of the inner circle, which I believe he still was a part of at this point. I don't know my AEW, but I don't know if the inner circle was still working in the summer of 2024. But everything he knew, like, that was a wrestling hold, seemed to be a Chris Jericho thing, which isn't great, but, you know, we'll take what we can get. I absolutely adored these two on commentary. And the fact that we saw the commentary camera the entire show is A+ work that I think other promotions should start looking into. The fact that Evil Uno was on a corner of the Twitch stream on his camera the entire time was nothing short of sublime. I do love how people in the Twitch chat were asking him for instant replay, to which he responds, "We don't make that kind of money. We don't have that technology. You're going to have to go back and watch it later." I freaking adored everything about this show. I'm also going to get murdered by all of our Canadians by not being able to pronounce this. This show takes place from the Gatineau, Quebec, Canada, in Centre Aydelu, Aydelu. Sure. Those are places, I'm sure. They're certainly not English, but then again, we are in bizarro land of Canada, so I'm sure they're all French. I also know Bobby's watching tonight's show because I told him what we were covering. So I'm for certain that he's here having a conniption over the fact that I cannot pronounce these Canadian places.
It's like my French doesn't go that much, so I can't even help you there either.
The funny part is, I'm part French. More importantly, I'm part French Canadian, and I can't do this.
Well, that's even worse.
Is it though? Is it worse?
Yeah, I don't
or
think
is
I
it
am.
better for me?
I don't remember. I gotta look at my ancestry again. I don't think I have French in there that I remember.
Anyways, we're going to go ahead, since Bobby's not commenting, we're going to go ahead and start with our first match, which was a fatal four-way where everybody was dressed like the Undertaker's druids. We had 4 men in black robes with a black hood, and they were revealed one by one. I don't know if they didn't know who each other were. The other thing about mystery wrestling is that the card is not revealed ever before the shows. They will reveal some of the big names that they're bringing in to bring in people. Like the next Mystery Wrestling 23, has MJF on the card somewhere. Whether he's going to be doing commentary, which I really hope he is. Like, I almost don't want him to wrestle. I almost just want him to do commentary, just because I'll pay the $6.50 to hear him and Evil Uno on commentary for an entire 2-hour show. But this match is featuring James Stone, Matthias Myre, Stu Grayson, and Macrae Martin. And they say that the backstage officials went through Stu Grayson's bag and found the Lutte 07 championship. And because they found it, it's on the line. Stu Grayson is very mad at his tag team partner and friend, Evil Uno, for this, where he's yelling at something off camera and he's pointing, and you can visibly see Evil Uno smirk under the mask, which is an impressive thing to do, to be able to see a man smirking under the mask, claiming he didn't know what was going on and he's sorry. Astrid, Macrae Martin wins the Lutte 7 championship. What did you think of this match, since you've barred me from seeing your notes?
I was waiting for the remark. I like the fact that they're in the ring already. So they're, like you said, they're all in the ring as it is. All four of them standing next to each other with the suit on. So it's like they don't see each other. There's no entrance music, no nothing, no announcing like that of who is going against who. I like that. And I was like, oh, this is different. It's interesting. I like the fact that like, okay, first person, you unmask yourself, and they keep going like that until they all do. So I like that obviously that part of it, that it's a surprise for all of us, not only for the people like watching here as us watching later, but the people that were there as well. So I thought that was super interesting. I like the chemistry that everybody had here. The thing that really made me feel weird is just it reminded me a lot of wrestling open, the sense of it with the ring though, because I noticed how close they are obviously to the audience. Yeah, and the ring feels so tiny at the same time because there's so many people around it. I felt so bad for whoever was landing outside it because the fans were super close. So that part is like it's a little uncomfortable sometimes. But I really enjoyed it. I can say for me, it's tough to make somebody like I feel like they all stand out in different ways because I don't know if you say Mathis is how you say it, but I like his speed more than anything. I like how agile he was. But Macrae, I like how he uses the ropes when he bounces off the ropes the way he does, because he does almost not the tranquilo pose, but that he does something similar to what Andrade does when he bounces off.
He does the Izzy James snake bite.
Mm-hmm.
It was something I made a mental note of because I didn't have written notes because somebody took them away from me. That Macrae Martin was constantly doing Izzy James's snake bite finish throughout this match. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, I like the way that he just bounces off the ropes the way he does. It's always so interesting that he does it from basically the middle and the top rope, and I thought that was super interesting to begin with. And with James, he's more like always trying to take advantage of what he can in his situations here and there. And Stu, I already knew about Stu, so it wasn't anything really for me in that aspect of it. But I like that part of it, and it's like I feel like there was so much going on, it was hard to keep up with everybody at the same time. But it was just fun to watch overall. So that's why I enjoyed it. And I'm glad that this was the first match that we got to see.
Yeah, I thought this was a bunch of fun. I was really enjoying Matthias. I thought he was really interesting. He's a fast, speedy little boy. Again, 90% of the things I remember from this aren't actually things that happen in the matches because it's commentary. I remember Angelo and Evil Uno talking about beards for the first 5 minutes of this match and how beards help protect the wrestler from this, that, and the other thing, and how the clean shaven, they need to have a wrestling show where everybody has to be clean shaven. And I'm just like, what are we doing here, boys? Like this, what's going on here? Macrae Martin is my one to watch for the entire show. This guy is sensational. I really enjoyed everything he did. I like the way he worked. And again, it's hard to have a bad match with Stu Grayson. Stu Grayson is a great competitor. One of my favorite things that I've ever seen out of AEW has always been the Dark Order. The early days of the Dark Order with everything with Brody Lee, everything with Hangman Adam Page. Those days of the Dark Order were so fantastic and so great. And the Super Smash Bros. Are probably one of the best independent things to come out of Canada in a very long time. Which is a tag team of Stu Grayson and Evil Uno before they ended up in AEW when they became the Dark Order. Macrae Martin gets the win, pinning Stu Grayson. A bit surprising to Stu Grayson that he lost. And again, he was very unhappy with his friend Evil Uno because he's now lost his championship, which, by the way, this promotion at the time had no championships. So this was somebody else's championship that got defended on a mystery wrestling show, which is always fun to watch on the independent scene, to see other people's championships being defended on somebody else. Like, just imagine the crazy world where a WWE championship was defended on like an AEW show. Like the craziness that it is, or like a New Japan show, like something not, I would normally say TNA, but that doesn't count now because they're tied together. AAA doesn't count anymore because they're tied together. So it'd have to be something drastically different. And the ID title doesn't count because that's an independent championship for the whole promotion. No, I love this match. I thought this was a great way to start out. It was, God, commentary made everything fun. There's no bad match in this card because even things that I didn't want to watch or didn't love watching, commentary made 1,000 times better than anything. This is my favorite commentary team we've had on any of our shows. No offense to Chris and no offense to Swole. It's a vastly different best commentary because Chris and Swole are informative and entertaining, whereas Angelo Parker and Evil Uno are just, we're going to tell 1,000 jokes and we're going to have fun the entire time and pick up the slack on the wrestling that's going on in the ring. And at some points, wrestling needed to be in air quotes for some of this, because some of this wasn't wrestling. Well, let me tell you that. No, this was great. It was a fun match. It did what it needed to do. It didn't overstay its welcome like some of the other things that we might talk about. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed it. All right. I'm going to limit my haterade to one match and one match in particular, and it's going to be this match. Astrid, you said I had to limit the haterade. You didn't say I couldn't have any haterade. Limited. This match was announced as a one-on-one match originally. Commentary told us it was going to be a one-on-one match between Cecil Nix and London Lightning. Now, the other thing we need to make note of, nobody has their entrance music for this show because Evil Uno is streaming this on Twitch and streaming this. He decided for this promotion he wants to do no copyrighted music, so he gets random, generic, royalty-free music. Basically, I think he goes to the YouTube music library, finds stuff he could use, and just pulls it out there and puts it out for these people. So it's fun watching them not know who's coming through the curtain. Unlike in Dreamwave, where they're supposed to know who's coming through the curtain, it's fun to have that element of they don't know who's coming through the curtain. And also, the match order number just popped Angelo the entire night. Like, Uno would be like, all right, we're on match 2. And every match number, Angelo would have some smart-ass remark about the match number. But again, this is supposed to be a one-on-one match. As we get into the ring, they're about to do the introductions for this match, and the ring announcer announces that is a 4-on-4 battle royal, which is a problem considering there's 2 men in the ring. On top of that, they then start looking through the crowd to find people, to which Evil Uno makes the statement, my insurance doesn't cover fans getting in the ring. We shouldn't be doing this. We then have London Lightning find one of the biggest wrestlers I've ever seen. Now, we talked about Cody Fluffman last week, Miss Astrid, who's taking a minute now, so I'm going to give her a minute while I go ahead and take care of this. We talked about Cody Fluffman last week. This man dwarfs Cody Fluffman.
Yeah,
Tell me a little. I've never seen Puff before in my life.
I'm trying to remember where I've seen him. Oh my god, I can't recall. I don't know if it was an AW thing or what, but when I saw him, I went, "No way!" And I thought you knew him from before, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hear when he hears about Puff coming out." Um, but the funny part for me watching this is like, I didn't see his face. I could hear them talking about him, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, he's been tweeting about the show all night. He's back there somewhere." And all you see is his tiny little head coming out from the crowd at first because of all the people in front of him. And then he comes out, and I like the fact that he's already in his gear and everything. All set up to go, which his gear almost looks like a onesie. It made me laugh. So, as it is. But the fact that you can see his tiny little head and that he has a snack in his hand, it's like, oh wait, it's my turn. He's like, I have to get out of here. Um, thank you. And it was just so funny to watch him come out from there. And another thing I wanted to point out about what you said is like when they announced that this is a 4-on-4 battle royal, it's like you have one guy in one corner, one guy in the other corner. So they look at each other like, you know, and they try to like find people from the audience. And like you said, that I like that comment from Iwon. It's like, oh, my insurance doesn't cover this, so don't do this. For me though, it was a little different because I am, to put it behind the scenes, I'm putting the document together for the matches, and I see the name twice on the card. One on one side and then the other one, I was like, something has to be wrong about this. And I was like, there's something wrong about this card. How is the same person on both sides at the same time? I couldn't think of how that happened. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give the match a moment. You know, something has to explain to me what this man is on both sides, because how does that make any sense to me? And I like the fact, like you said, like Puff comes out, he joins the match, and I was like, okay, so now we have 2 and then 1. And then I'm like, okay, where's everybody else? And the thing how this match happens that made me laugh the most is the fact that they don't say, oh, we're gonna have everybody come out, all 4 of them for both sides at once. Is it do one side and then the other one, or vice versa, whatever it is. No, they're like picking somebody, and then the guy's like, I need a partner, and then somebody comes in, and all of a sudden that person gets somebody, and somebody else comes in. I was like, what is this? Oh my brain cannot take the fact that I'm like, okay, he has had 2 partners so far. We got 2 more, and I had to keep up with that, and I couldn't deal with it. I don't know would have done the same thing because of the ADHD. I would have been like, what the heck? So it took me a moment.
The best part of this is Evil Uno kind of sort of knows what's going on, but has no idea. And he's like, Angelo, I should have told you this. And Angelo's like, no, this is fine. I don't know what the fuck's going on anyway, so I'm just going to keep going with it. Yeah, so Alvin Turner comes out as a babyface to work with the heel Cecil Nix as the first partner and gets immediately dumped by London Lightning. He then goes back to the back, swaps his gear, and comes out on the other team as a heel on the team with the 2 baby faces, which is unusual, but we'll let it slide. Because that's not the most unusual thing that's about to happen in this match. Puff gets eliminated at one point, and then the referee goes to the outside and demands the tag. By the way, this is a 4-on-4 battle royal, but tag rules are in effect. Yes, there were tag team rules in effect, which again, this is the match that made me go with everything's made up, the rules are made up, and everything doesn't matter. Nothing about this mattered except that we were wasting time and having fun. And boy, did we have both of those things. This is the biggest clusterfuck outside of the GCW clusterfuck. The 2 referees eliminate each other out of the ring. Well, one eliminates the other, and then he's, crowing about it and gets dumped out by the heel when the good guy referee tries to pay him $20. It's very, very confusing. London Lightning got eliminated. The match ends with the heel team, quote unquote, winning the match, I guess. Dexter Doom came out at one point. I have no idea what I just watched. Do you remember WrestleMania 40? WrestleMania, the one from the Performance Center, the no-fan WrestleMania, where they had the Firefly Funhouse. And then the camera cuts to Titus O'Neil. And he looks dead straight into the camera and goes, I have no idea what I've just seen. That's how I felt watching this match. I don't know if any of the people in this match are good. I don't know if any of the people in this match are bad. I think I saw referee Ben Omen at one point during this match, but I couldn't get confirmation in any way, shape, or form from anybody that we know about whether or not he even works for Mystery Wrestling. I don't know what this is. I don't want to see it again. I really hope that this match never happens again on any other show we cover.
I feel like the thing that would have made it different for me is if they revealed everybody at once. Like, if you're going to do the heel side, do the heel side, all 4 people, do the face side, all 4 people, and then do the match starting. But the fact that I'm like, wait, this one has 2 people, this one had 2, but one got eliminated, I couldn't keep track of all that. Even in my notes, I'm like, I think I got everything, but I'm not even 100% sure.
I wouldn't know. You won't see your notes anymore.
Oh, well, that happens. But yeah, at the end, I got the answer as to why I had the same name on both sides, which made me laugh at the end because I was like, I don't understand how this is possible, but it is possible.
We then move on to our next match. It's our first singles match of the night, which is nice. And it is the Sweetest Pea Kristara taking on Junior Clap Them Cheeks Benito. They also announced at this point, this promotion is coming to Edmonton, so you might at some point see Ben. Yeah, no, I know we'll probably see him when the Edmonton show happens, but I wasn't sure if Ben made the trip to Quebec to work the show, a year and a half ago in Quebec. That's why I was curious. Like, I know Ben referees up in the Edmonton area. We've seen him at some of the shows we've watched from the Edmonton-ish people that we know and love. And hate in some cases. But anyways. Yes, Junior Benito, clap them cheeks. Boy, the Canadians have some weird gimmicks. I mean, I say that knowing that the next 2 that we're going to talk about come from my own home promotion of Chaotic, and those are some weird gimmicks, and they still weren't the weirdest things we saw in the night. This also happens to be Kristara's birthday. So happy birthday to Kristara in June of 2024. Good for her. I love this match. This is one of my favorite matches because it felt like one of the only real wrestling matches on the card. Mm-hmm. Like, we have a Speedball Mike Bailey match on this card. And I shit you not, I still feel like the Kristara match is the only real wrestling match on the entire card. Yes. You Canadians have some weird gimmicks. Have you not seen? You've not seen the show we're watching. I'm sorry, but at one point we had a guy dressed like a hot dog vendor. Now, I'm sorry. We have some bullshit gimmicks here in the States, and especially in my neck of the woods. But we don't have a hot dog vendor as a professional wrestler. I also believe there was a wrestler who was dressed as an actual hot dog in that match, too. Astrid, talk to us about Kristara and Junior Benito.
This was actually my favorite match of the whole card. Sorry, Speedball. Speedball's right after that one. But this was my favorite one. I like the fact that I can see a lot of Kristara, but I will point it out right now before I forget. I would have taken time off from that 6-man tag and put it onto this match. Because I feel like the 6-man tag a little bit too long for the characters that we have, and I'll go more into detail that later.
A little bit?
More than a little bit. But I'll get more into detail when we get to that part. But when the 6-man tag is happening, I would have taken time from there and put it into this match because I like the way that Kristara was working this match. I like the chemistry that her and Junior have too. The fact that she's able to go all out the way she is and the way she counters his moves, especially for the ending here, that was just beautiful to watch. So I had to even rewind it at that point and see that again because he does a little pop-up power bomb and she reverses it and she gets the win from that. And there's also one point that he does, I think it was a belly to back. And she counters it to a tornado DDT. And those 2 counters were just beautiful. Like the timing of that was just incredible to watch. Yeah, all around, I love how she does. I love her whole character and the way she just did everything. So I was like, I'm glad that I finally got to watch one of her matches, and I'm glad it was this one, to be honest.
If you haven't seen Kristara work, and the funny thing is I knew when this took place because I looked up the date to try to figure out, what we were doing and everything when we were doing this. But I know really roughly where this was, because this is when her and Katrina Creed and Alex came down and worked the Beyond Wrestling show, because I remember watching Wrestling Open and seeing her and Katrina both work the Wrestling Open show, and Alex was there too, working another promotion in the area. And Evil Uno even brings it up on commentary that Kristara just got back to Canada after having worked for Beyond. So I thought that was really fun. If you've never seen Kristara work, you really do need to. She's one of my favorite Canadian professional wrestlers, and she has been for a while. We've been seeing bits and pieces of Kristara for a while here, ever since our time at LW. I met Kristara and Alex Mays as part of one of the blowing off steam streams that Love Wrestling does on their Twitch channel. I don't know if they still do it, but they did do it while we were there. Every Saturday night, where we'd play some games, Jackbox, things like that. And I remember meeting Kristara and Alex Mays and becoming fans of them and their chemistry back then. They are fantastic people who I adore watching them work when I get the opportunity. Every time Kristara is in Beyond, I make sure to pay attention and watch. If you've not seen her, you really do need to. She really is the sweetest. Like, she comes to the ring. I want to see her when she's healthy again after giving birth to her child. I want to see her versus Kylie Rae. Because I just want to see two of the sweetest people outside, like this whole sweet gimmick that they both have going on. I just want to see what happens when they both have to wrestle each other. Because I think that would just be interesting. Junior Benito showed me a lot in this match, being able to work with Kristara, to be able to base for her, for all of the things she's doing, but also to be able to get this character over. Where, like, he says he's not going to clap her cheeks, and whether or not it's because she's a woman, because it's her birthday, for whatever reason, he's trying to avoid doing all the things that apparently he does in his matches. And the back and forth that he does with that, and the character work he does with that, and the way he works it into this incredible high-flying wrestling style that he seems to have is sensational. The fact this is also one of the first real wrestling matches of the night where, like, even Evil Uno is like, hey, look, there's some wrestling going on here. Like, they're making fun of the fact that we've had comedy for 2 straight matches. I love this. Was sensational. This is my match of the night, as well, Astrid. I know you. And by the way, the match that's next on my list isn't the Mike Speedball Bailey match. That's not my second match of the night. I have another favorite match of the night on top of that. Speedball Mike Bailey is actually my third favorite match of the night. But again, that's more of a problem I have with how Speedball came out. We'll get to that when we get Spike Speedball. No, I thought this was great. I love Kristara. She's my one to watch. She's absolutely my one to watch. If you've never seen her before, see her work. If you want to see her work with some amazing people, C4 is doing Bring It On coming up within the next couple of weeks. I believe it's next week. They're doing their all-women show, Bring It On, and they're having a bunch of women on this show. And she's in a 4-way with Gabby Forza and some other women. And Gabby's making her debut, I believe, up at C4. Definitely go ahead and give that a look, because that looks like a fantastic, fun card that we're probably going to be covering in the near future if we have time, because we've got a list of shows we want to cover. And we are doing an all-women show probably next week if IWTV gets the show up as we want. But no, if you want to see Kristara, definitely go ahead and check her out. Like I said, I know she's working that C4 show coming up by the end of the month, so definitely go ahead and check that out. Anything else from you on Kristara versus Junior Benito before we get to our final match before intermission? All right. So this match I'll be honest. I didn't even realize this match was on the card when I sent it to Astrid. Like, I looked over the card and I saw Kristara on the card and went, okay. Between Kristara, Mike Bailey, and Josh Alexander, I have a pretty good chance that Astrid will actually do this show, as opposed to having to have me talk about Chris Statlander again in the main event of the other show that Astrid proposed to me, which was Mystery Wrestling 6, which was main evented by Chris Statlander. Mostly because the last time we talked about Chris Statlander, we were both really excited for a Chris Statlander match, and she wrestled Livia. And, yeah, that didn't go so well. Anyways, this next match is a Boathouse brawl involving two people from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Oh, they are chaotic staples, Sean Vegan Keegan and Seabass Finn. This made me smile. When I saw Sean Keegan come out, I went, oh no. Because I knew that him and Finn both went up to work Canadian shows in the Northeast of Canada at this time. Because it was part of the trade. The Canadian teams sent down Creed and Kristara, and we sent Keegan and Finn. And I went, oh no. This is fine. This is fine. In the broadest terms of fine being literally the most meh thing you've ever seen in the world. Like that Kelsey, what is her name? What is Jason Kelsey's wife's name? Kylie Kelsey. I'm sorry. I thought for some reason I thought it was Kelsey, and I was like, I don't know why I thought that. Kylie Kelsey. That commercial that they did during the Super Bowl where everything was meh. Like, that's this match. It's not good. It's not bad. It's all comedy. It made me feel like I was watching Vince McMahon's dementia era WWE, like dog food match or Symphony of Horrors match or shit like that. Like, it's fine. Like, the gimmick is tied to the wrestler, which at least makes sense. Like, you have the vegan character and the fish guy, so you're having a Boathouse brawl. Fine. That makes sense. This is fine. I've watched these guys have tear down the house matches. So I'm disappointed in this because I've seen them have such great matches. I'm very sad that this is, I believe, the first time Astrid's seen both of them work. I know you've seen one and or the other work on a chaotic show that we've covered before. I don't remember which one it is. But I know you've talked about one or the other, but never the both of them in the same thing. So Astrid, please be kind. Otherwise, here, I can hand you my haterade, and you can go ahead and have some for this match.
I don't recall seeing any of them before. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look back at the card. But I was looking before at the Puff thing, so I looked him up, and from what I recall, too, before I forget, it shows him him and Calvin Stewart versus Butcher and Blade, and that was an AW Dark. That's how I knew about him from before.
That would explain why nobody else remembers, because it is indeed Butcher and the Blade.
And it was in 2020, so.
Yeah. Pandemic days.
Good day. That's what I was like. I knew I seen him before, but it was one of those like obviously it's AW Darks. It was one of those like quick matches. So I was like, dang it, I knew I seen him before and I couldn't recall it. I had to look back, and that was the first one that popped up. So there could be other AW ones too. But I was like, yeah, it's AW Dark. That's how I seen at least his face before. For this one though, to get back to that one, once I heard it said Boathouse Brawl, I went, oh no, what is this gonna be? Because it's only items that you can find in a boathouse.
Uh-huh.
It was a match, and it happened.
Oh no, I'm not sure that it's a match, and I'm not sure that it happened. I'm not sure that it wasn't just a fever dream watching Sean Vegan Keegan take a boat paddle to the ass of fucking Seabass Finn.
I think I lost it once I saw the mandible claw with a plastic fish.
Yeah, that being the finish was indeed.
Oh my god.
Christ on a fucking cracker.
Yeah.
I love the character work from these guys. Like, you got to give it up for the character work from these guys. And again, it fit the show we're watching. Like, if I had seen this on Chaotic, I'd have been pissed. But, you know, for Mystery Wrestling, for a show that, again, if you like a little comedy with your wrestling or a little bit of wrestling with your comedy, you're in the right place, because that's exactly what this was. It's neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. We then have our intermission, a 15-minute intermission. The thing I find interesting about this is that intermission isn't always skippable on these shows, because they do a Q&A during intermission. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a bit of it. But it was fun to watch. We had Macrae Martin come back out with his Lutte 7 championship to answer some questions. Angela Parker answered 3 and then went to the bathroom and got a hot dog. Because he was asking about hot dogs earlier in the show when he saw the hot dog guy come out. Because commentary. All right. We come back from a commercial break, from our intermission, to Jordan Oliver on our television screens, taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. All right. This match got knocked way down because I saw one of the most disgusting things I've ever... Now, I've seen multiple men wrestle without their shoes. We talked about one last week, the douchebag of all douchebags. We've also talked about other people who wrestle without their shoes on, including people like Rusev early in his career didn't wrestle with shoes. And Speedball obviously doesn't wrestle with shoes. However, I have never seen somebody, and why you would think this is a good idea, I don't know, kick people's hands as he's doing like the slapping of the hands thing coming to the ring. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in a professional wrestling ring. How dare you put your dirty feet on people's hands, Mr. Bailey? Just, no. This isn't acceptable. This isn't right. How dare you? This is awful. By the way, I'm not a foot person. Feet bother me. I didn't like this. And again, this has nothing to do with the promotion. That has nothing to do with anything. This has to do with a personal problem I have with feet. No. Bad Bailey. Bad Speedball. Bad. In the terms, in the most glowing terms from the Hurt Syndicate. Fuck you, Speedball. Astrid, do you have any thoughts on this 15.5-minute match between Jordan Oliver and Mike Bailey?
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad to see Jordan by himself, because I'm used to seeing him with Alec. So I like the difference of seeing him wrestle by himself like this, especially with people that I really enjoy everything they do. Um, I especially love there's a part, if I remember correctly, yeah, that Oliver just counters with a cutter when Mike is setting up for the ultimate weapon towards the end of the match. That was pretty awesome to watch. And I believe, yeah, he's doing it towards the end, especially that ending sequence, because he's doing a springboard cutter, and as he's doing it, then Mike counters it towards a submission, and that's how the match ends. And I didn't think, like, at first that Jordan was actually tapping out, so I thought the match was still continuing for a moment. I was like, wait, it actually did end that way. So it was very surprising the way, like, the match ended in itself here. The chop off that they had here too was another thing, and I like how they kept mentioning that in commentary. It's like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't do that with Jordan, and then the back and forth they had with each other at the beginning too was really just overall fun to begin with. So this was one of my other like matches that I really enjoyed on this card.
Yeah, I mean, I say with all the love in my heart, fuck you, Mike Bailey. Fuck you, Speedball. he's one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. Like, he legitimately is. He's so, and again, it's hard to put into words how good Jordan Oliver, Alex Price, Speedball Mike Bailey are and how important they were to this Eastern US/Canadian scene. Like, Speedball is the Canadian version of what Jordan Oliver and Alex Price are to the Northeast. Like, he's that guy who goes around and works everywhere and works everybody and makes sure that everybody has a fantastic match. This was just a fun way to sit back and watch for 15 and a half minutes. Two guys who just tore the house down. In front of nearly nobody, it felt like. These two had a match that was just fantastic. Both of these guys are now signed to AEW. One is part of, I think it's Jetstream, right? I think is that the tag team name? Jet Speed. Jet Speed is a tag team name for Mike Bailey and it's Kevin Knight, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you have Busta in the Brain with Alex Price and Jordan Oliver. I don't know if they're still using that name in AEW or not, as they've made their Ring of Honor and AEW matches. I don't know if they have that team name there, but I know that's what they were going by on the Indies.
At least when I saw them, they just had their names on the Titantron, but they didn't have the tag team name like that.
Yeah. This is the second time, Ashton will have forgotten this, but this is the second time we watched a singles match with Jordan Oliver, because of course she was enamored with watching Mr. Santana the first time, because this is Jordan Who Cares About You Oliver.
Hey, I won't forget that one.
Oh, trust me, I won't forget that either.
No. Yeah, no.
No, this match is, for all the things you said and more, this match is just fantastic. Like, Mike Bailey is one of the best in the world doing what he does. Jordan Oliver can work with anybody and everybody, and working with Mike Bailey was a pure joy to watch. I'm not surprised Mike Bailey won, but I also wouldn't have been surprised if Mike Bailey took the L here. It's a fantastic way to spend 15 minutes. Speaking of a fantastic way to spend some time, this next match was not a fantastic way to spend some time. I love a lot of this. And then it kept going. And going. And going. Like the Energizer Bunny, this was the hardcore match that wouldn't fucking end. And now I'm going to get yelled at by my Canadians again. La Tabarnak de Trio. TDT, we're going to call them, because that's the way it was written on the notes. That's a whole lot easier. TDT, made up of Brendan Tull, Matthew St-Jacques, and Thomas Dubois. Dubois. Got to get my French in there. Dubois. Sounds like a Harlan Abbott match. Yeah, probably. I was really looking forward to working to covering that SPH show until I saw that Harlan Abbott was on the show. Uh-oh, I said a bad word. Did I really? Oh yeah, isn't their name a bad word in French? I forget. Evil Uno said what their name meant, and I forget what it was.
He did.
But I'm almost certain it was a swear word.
I think it was shit.
Yeah, the shitheads or something like that. Mel will tell us in the comments.
I forgot which one. He did mention it though.
And they're taking on the Jabronis. I'm thankful that Cage Match gave us names, because Lord knows Angelo and Evil Uno didn't fucking bother. Apparently it's Benny P, KJ Swayde, and Thomas Leduc. Leduc, it don't matter. He got his ass kicked. They got put through door after door after door, much like burger after burger after burger for Sheamus. This match went on way too long. At one point after the match, the referee ended up going through the door, because why not? We had an extra door that didn't get put through. Pretty sure that's the F word. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Sounds about right. It's literally their name. Like, I don't have an option. It is what their name is. I was hoping it was Tabernacle, but I'm going to guess it's not Tabernacle.
I mean, you can look at the private chat and it will give you.
Oh, you did put something in the private chat. I hadn't even noticed. Tabarnak is a highly vulgar Quebec French profanity derived from the tabernacle, the sacred container in Catholic churches. It is widely used to serve as a curse word, roughly equivalent to holy fuck or fuck in English, often used to express anger, frustration, or shock. It is one of the most common intense sacred words in Quebec. Gymglish? What the hell is Gymglish?
I just copy pasted it. I don't know.
Gymglish +4, Astrid, huh?
I don't know what that is. That just showed up in the definition of
intensecrated word. That is also all one. Yeah, this was indeed something to behold. Astrid, why don't you go ahead and talk about this while I'll be right back.
This is the match that I was saying that I would have taken time out of this one and put it into the Junior and Kristara match because it was going so well that I would have preferred to have a little bit more from it. This is one of those, like, I was a little bit confused first with the name for a TDT because, like Ed was saying, they didn't say which one was which. I believe Benjamin had his name on his shirt in the back, so that's the only reason why I knew it was him. The other two don't. And then for the other team, they start calling them Jabronis at first. But then towards the end of the match, Evo Uno says their names. So at this point, I don't even know what their names are. But I just kept going what cage match had at the moment. But yeah, it was one of those matches that once they had all the doors in the ring and it was ending, I feel like that was already, like, I was already done with this. They went through the concession stand. They threw ketchup at each other. They just mustard at each other. Everything else. I think the only part of what I kept was that ending with the doors, just to end it the way it did. I told even when at the end of everything with the referee getting speared, like all that stuff. I feel like it was a lot, and especially if you have like a team like TDT, who's such a big team. I wouldn't have had them have a long match. That would have just ended in 5 minutes to make them look even stronger. But again, it's mystery wrestling, so it's not supposed to go with the usual stuff as it is.
No, there was certainly nothing usual about it. And like I said, I had fun with a lot of this. Like, I liked watching guys go through doors. It was fine. But after the fourth or fifth door, I was like, all right, we can end this now. Because, like, it wasn't like everybody was going through doors. It was just these poor jobbers that were going through doors. Or as we call them here, our local enhancement talent. Yeah, it was fine for what it was, but it was far too long, and it is what it is. We then get to our main event. Thankfully, we get to our main event, which, by the way, was my second favorite match of the night. I really enjoyed this. Cowboy Psycho Mike defeating former TNA World Heavyweight Champion and now AEW superstar, part of the Don Callis family with about 1,600 other people, Josh Alexander. Canada's own Josh Alexander. I love this. I thought this was great. Josh Alexander works such a serious style in his everyday TNA, AEW, generic life, that seeing him here with Cowboy Psycho Mike was just so much fun to see him with a smile and to see him doing fun things and having a good time. To see, like, at one point, Psycho Mike takes the headgear off of Josh Alexander and puts it on and, like, pretends like he can wrestle like Josh Alexander. Like, that's so much fun. I do definitely need to check out the Monday Magic shows. I haven't seen the newest one yet, so I do need to check that out. It's on tap for, I believe, Thursday while I work. I think I'm watching the Monday Magic episode from this week. But no, I had a great time with this. I was happy to see Josh lose, to be honest with you, because this match was for the I can't believe I'm about to say this. The only way Psycho Mike could take the medicine that would allow him to no longer be a cowboy was if he defeated the person in a wrestling match. So he asked the people of Mystery Wrestling for an easy match, and instead he got Josh Alexander. And I wanted to see what would happen if he took the medicine. So I was rooting for him to win against Josh Alexander, which I didn't think was going to happen because it's Josh Alexander and he's wrestling in Canada on an indie show. And I just didn't think he was going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
To see him win and then to see the ref give him a pat on the back as he's drinking it and have him spit out the solution was just so much fun. I also love the fact that for the first time on the entire card, we got the one thing that we always pride other commentary teams on, which is giving us background information on one of the people we're looking at in the ring. Because Evil Uno could not stop talking about the Psycho Mike story that's been developing at Mystery Wrestling for the 8 shows prior to this, with him being the biggest asshole in the world, and then all of a sudden becoming a slightly less of an asshole when he somehow adopted a cowboy persona. And I don't even remember how he got the cowboy persona. Like, this is all just such great character work from a guy called Psycho Mike. He's my other one to watch on this show, other than Kristara in Junior Benito. It's Psycho Mike, because he's a big tall bastard, but his character work here was on fucking point. Like, the idea that he only works to the hard cam, and then having at one point Josh Alexander block his face from the hard cam and basically do the "you can't see me." Like, I had such a great time watching this match. This match could have gone another 10 minutes and I would have been happy. Like, it went 12 minutes and it could have gone another 10.
Yep.
I thought this was sensational, and it just topped off the night in such a way. I will be watching more Mystery Wrestling. I will be watching more of this because this was just so much fun. It's hard to do a show about it. Like, this is so different from anything else we've ever covered. In this match, this card. Because on any other show we've ever covered, on any other thing we've ever done, we would have said this was not a promotion worth watching. Like, how can you do this? Like, I've mentioned that I want us to cover Rad Pro Wrestling before, because it's all fun and games gimmicks from the people of Chaotic Wrestling. I don't know if I want us to cover Rad Pro Wrestling anymore after having seen this, because I just kind of want to, if we're going to do this, I just kind of want to do this. Because at least on commentary here, we have Evil Uno being the coolest of Evil Unos. Astrid, go ahead and talk to me about this main event.
I enjoyed it too, aside from the parts that you mentioned about the Mike and the hard cam thing, about him still, even whenever Josh is making any moves on him, he's still looking at the hard cam the whole time. And it's just so funny to watch that happen. And then, like, the way he tries to block him and it still doesn't work out because he's still looking at the camera when he takes his hand off. That part was one. And the ankle lock, when he has the ankle lock going around the fans at the same time, and he tries to do an enziguri to get out of it, he doesn't realize it doesn't work out because he's outside. So even if he counters it, it hurts him in the end. But they still go through, and they're like, he has to reach for the ropes, but he started going outside instead of trying to be inside the ring and reaching for the ropes. And for me, this was different because I'm so used to seeing, like, even meeting him in person, seeing that serious Josh Alexander, that's what I'm used to. So to see this side of him was so different for me. And I enjoyed it so much. I wish I could see more of this, like, almost like comedic side to him. It doesn't happen often when you see that. And, like, my favorite part was when Mike knocks his headgear off and he puts it on. He's like, oh, it's like I have a superpower. And he's able to do, there was a suplex that he did to him, the way that Josh...
Back-to-back suplex, like, the belly-to-back suplex.
Yeah, it was just, like, the comedy part of it was just so fun to watch here. And I like the fact that like when Josh puts it back on, then Mike can't do the moves anymore because that's not the superpower. And Josh is able to do them again. Like things like that were just so silly to watch. And it's such a different side of him that I didn't realize he had. And now I want to see more of him. So yeah, this is my other match that I really enjoyed. So those are the three matches that I enjoyed from this whole card more than anything here tonight. But like you said, it's like the fact that we have Eva Uno just having fun on commentary with Angelo and whoever shows up next to do commentary with him too. I like having this like fun side of it too, something not to take too seriously. And I like the balance that we can do this every so often just to do something a little bit different with our wrestling.
This show is the epitome of wrestling is not everything for everybody. People talk about Santino and Rob Stone and, things like that and being like, you can't have this in your wrestling and how dare you? And it's like, no, wrestling's supposed to be, we're watching men in tights fight each other. Like, how seriously can we really take this shit sometimes? Like, the ability to have fun with this is what this promotion is all about. This is giving to the fans just fun escape for 2+ hours to get to meet some of their favorite wrestlers like a Mike Bailey and a Jordan Oliver. To know that when you subscribe to Evil Uno or you go to the Patreon for Mystery Wrestling, which again is all up here, and you guys really should. If you have a Twitch Prime sub that you're not giving to us, go ahead and give it to Evil Uno to talk about his thing. Yes, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yes, they're men. They're men in tights. Yes, I love Robin Hood Men in Tights. But no, if you're watching them on Patreon to watch all the old stuff, if you're watching them on Twitch the next time they go live, give them a subscribe. All of the money that Evil Uno makes from the Patreon and from the Twitch all goes back into running this promotion again and running these shows again. And it's just fantastic to see somebody being able to have fun and to let some people kind of let loose, like to see a Josh Alexander wrestling a comedic style, to just have fun for 12 minutes and just not be. And again, there's nothing wrong with the uptight, I'm a great professional wrestling wrestler, Josh Alexander. There's nothing wrong with that. But I had more fun watching this 12 minutes of Josh Alexander than I had watching him during his title run in TNA. Like, this was more fun to me because I feel like I saw more of Josh Alexander in 12 minutes in this match than I saw in his entire 1.5 year run with and around that world championship. Like, and Josh is a great friend. Again, this is not a slight on Josh Alexander. This is not a slight on TNA. They booked him well and they did exactly what they needed to do for that Josh Alexander. But to know that this is inside of him, AEW should capitalize on this. Ring of Honor should capitalize on this. Like, he's in the Don Callis family. He's got free time. There's 1,700 people in that faction. He's got some free time. Don't shake your head at me. That's the largest faction in professional wrestling.
No, I agree. I'm not a fan of it anyway. So
it's bigger than the Bullet Club at its height. And that's saying something because the Bullet Club at its height had like 15 people.
Yeah, I hate the comparison, but I understand.
I give this show on entertainment value 4 out of 5 CPA shirts. On a wrestling card, I give it about a 2. Because let's be honest, only 3 of these matches are really good professional wrestling matches. Like, the 4-way's fine. The Boathouse Brawl is fine-ish.
Sure.
But then you've got Kristara. Ironically, it's the singles matches. You got Kristara, you got Bailey and Oliver, and you've got Alexander. Those are your 3 great matches. And then you've got the other stuff on this card. And again, I love mystery wrestling. I want to cover them again. We're going to cover more mystery wrestling at some point. When they release more things on YouTube, we will take a look at what's there and find the best of the best, and we will watch it and we will enjoy it. We will cover it. Astrid, what do you give this, both on entertainment value and in-ring ability value?
Entertainment, I'll do like a 3.5. Like I said, it's like comedy wrestling is something that's out of my comfort zone, but I enjoyed it. If this was the way to introduce it to me, for example, it's a good introduction to it, at least. Because it balances out the fact that you said that the 3 singles matches are regular wrestling matches, but I like the comedy aspect to it, and it balances out there as well. What was the other one? Keep forgetting.
In-ring technical ability. If we're judging this on a show like we normally do.
Yeah, the in-ring one, I'm between like a 2 and a 2.5. Yeah.
It's brought down by that 6-man tag, I'm telling you. That 6-man tag really jogs that thing down.
Yeah, to me it's a 6-man tag, and then the Boathouse Brawl right after that, I'd say.
Well, let's also not forget that we had a 4-on-4 battle royal, where at one point we had the fans holding the wrestlers on their shoulders, and they were basically having a chicken fight sideways because the Canadians can't do anything right.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. But it's widely known that apparently I hate Canadians. It's so widely known that it was brought up on the Stewart podcast that I was on. That apparently I hate Canadians. That being said, let's talk about next week, because next week is a very exciting show. I'm very excited for it. All right. So this weekend, there was a fantastic return show for the promotion Girl Fight Wrestling. So we're going to be covering that, hopefully next week. We've been told by them on their social medias that this show will be available on IWTV a week after it happened, which means sometime this weekend, the show will go live on IWTV. We will hope and pray that that stays on target, and we'll be joined by a special guest who was there live at the show. Jose on the air, our good friend Jose Gonzalez, is going to come back and join us. We're going to have a 3-man booth again, one more time, and we're going to have Jose on the air to talk to us about Girl Fight Pro Wrestling. This is a promotion run by Billy Starks, I believe, and others. I don't think it's just Billy. I think there are others involved.
She's one of the bookers, yeah.
She's the booker and the promoter. She put a lot of hard work into this. Mm-hmm. And we're very excited that the show went off really well. They had a really great show, and they're looking for turnbuckle sponsors for future shows. So if you've got $200 around that you want to spend, maybe you made some tax money in the U.S. and you want to spend $200 of your tax money, go ahead and sign up for their next show as a turnbuckle sponsor so that your logo can be seen there. I'm going to message Bobby about it because I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't think he's going to give me the Olay credit card for it, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. But yes, Jose on the air will hopefully be joining us next week. If this show isn't available, we will have something else in its place. We will let you know on social medias on Monday which show we're doing, but I'm almost guaranteeing that this show will be available. And again, if you want to watch Mystery Wrestling, which I really suggest you watch these Mystery Wrestling shows, it is right up there. I do it every week. You can always check out the stuff up there. I put all of the stuff up there because I really want people to check this out, because I don't think people know enough about this promotion. Most of the promotions we talk about are things that people have heard of or people have seen or that we have seen. And Ashley's covering part of her screen now. There we go.
Sorry.
It's all right. So again, on Twitch, you can find Evil Uno at Evil Uno on Twitch. You can find all of their stuff either on their Twitch, on their Twitter, on their Patreon, or on their YouTube at Mystery Wrestling on basically everything. Astrid, tell the good people where they can find you this upcoming week.
Nothing else, thankfully. You can find me having fun next weekend when Scream comes out, so hopefully we'll have a Killer Cuts episode sometime soon talking all about that. So really looking forward to that aspect of it. And yeah, buying all the merch so I can find with Scream. So if you see anything, let me know. Other than that, you can find me. My Twitter is Astrid Pizarro, and my Instagram and Threads Astrid Pizarro 20. If you're in my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Use your high points. You have 3 high points per week. You can use it on our show. 3 days or so after the show airs. You can use it on POV probably at this point. You can use it on Mel Show. You never know. You pick a show and just hype it up. Why not?
You should always be hyping up the Noah Unleashed episodes that Mel Ball Collins does because they are indeed fantastic. You can, of course, find me at all the regular places. You know where they are. It doesn't really matter. But make sure you check out our local establishment, all the places down below. We have the ticker running, but of course, it's always at the bottom of the screen in that box below us every week, where you can find us on Twitter at Ole Podcasts, on all pretty much social medias at Ole Podcasts, and of course on the YouTubes at our local establishment. Remember that we do indeed have the first level of monetization. We are a YouTube partner, so you can go ahead and give us a super chat to help, donate to us and to help us continue to do all the fun things that we do here in a financial way, other than just watching the content. Remember to go ahead and, like Ash said, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what promotions you want us to cover in the new year, because we're branching out this year. We're trying to make sure we don't just cover the same promotions over and over again. As much as we'd like to continue to cover Dreamwave all the time, as much as we want to cover on, all these other promotions that we cover on a fairly regular basis, whether it be Beyond Wrestling or Action Wrestling or Dreamwave, which we've covered a couple times. We want to cover more stuff. We're going to cover Eve, Riot Girls of Wrestling at some point in March. We're going to go ahead and be covering a bunch of different promotions that we've probably never covered at when we go ahead and cover WrestleMania week, because there are going to be so many promotions out there. So let us know what promotions you think we should cover. And remember, we want to go worldwide with this. So if you have some promotions from somewhere else in the world, we'd especially love to hear those, whether it's from Australia, whether it's from Europe, whether it's from, South America, Central America, wherever. If you want us to, if you can find us a Puerto Rican wrestling show, we'd love to do that. I'm sure I could twist Ashton's arm to cover some Puerto Rican wrestling at some point.
I don't know if you want to do that for sure.
No, you don't think so? You don't think we want to cover Salvia Vega's promotion?
Maybe.
All right. But that has been our show. Thank you for joining us. We will catch you next time. Goodbye. I am in misery.